In this video, I will show you guys how to create a professional looking gaming thumbnail for your YouTube videos that will definitely help you get more clicks. The thumbnail that we will be making in this video will be a Rainbow Six Siege thumbnail, but this method that I'm about to show you can be applied to any first-person shooter games you make videos on. These thumbnails are used by a lot of bigger YouTubers across different games. You might have seen some of them, and they are actually not that difficult to make. First things first, we need to obviously take the screenshot that we will be using to create our thumbnail. The first step is to, of course, load up a custom game on any map of your choosing. In this video, I chose to load up Coastline. Once you're there, you're going to need to turn off your HUD. To do this, make your way towards the HUD tab in your settings and change the HUD preset setting to cinematic. After that, while you are still in the HUD tab, scroll down until you find the match header setting and turn it off. Once you have done that, you are ready to take your screenshot. If you want, you can have a friend help you and have them be on the other team acting as an enemy that is speaking you, which will definitely help improve the thumbnail, but for today, I will be taking the screenshot by myself. Go get into position. For this video, I want my thumbnail to be looking from ruins towards the building, and once you get into position, take the screenshot. On Ubisoft Connect, by default, the keybind to capture a screenshot is F12. You will know that you have successfully captured a screenshot when on the top left of your screen it says screenshot saved. These screenshots will be saved in the Ubisoft Connect folder in the pictures folder on your PC. If for whatever reason you cannot capture a screenshot with Ubisoft Connect, there is another way. Basically, what we're going to do is, instead of taking a screenshot in game, we're going to extract a screenshot from a recording and use that for our thumbnail. Once you have the footage recorded, you are going to need VLC, and if you don't have it downloaded, I will have it linked down in the description for you. Once it's downloaded, open the footage with VLC and find the exact frame you want to make the thumbnail out of. Once you find it, all you have to do is click on video on the top left and then take snapshot. You can find the screenshot in your pictures folder on your PC. Once you have taken the screenshot, you are ready to start editing the thumbnail. For software, I will be using a program called Affinity Photo to create my thumbnail in this video. I know a lot of you are probably using Adobe Photoshop, but trust me, the concept on how to make it is pretty much the same. Go ahead and create a new document, give it a resolution of 1920 by 1080, and drag the screenshot you took to the newly created document. Personally, I like to zoom in a little bit to make the gun look bigger, but you can skip this step if you don't want that effect. The first thing we need to do to create this thumbnail is we need to separate the gun from the background so we can have them be on two separate layers. To do this, copy and paste the screenshot layer, and then to avoid any confusion in the future and to stay a little bit organized, rename the bottom layer to background and the top layer to gun. Now that we have our two layers, it's time to separate the gun from the background, and to do this, we are going to be using the pen tool. If you do not know how to use the pen tool, unfortunately, I do not have time to explain how it works in this video, but in the description, I have linked a 2-minute video for you guys to watch that will explain everything you need to know on how the pen tool works. So if you don't know how it works, go watch that video and then come back to this one. So click on the pen tool and with it create a line around the gun. You do not have to be 100% precise, but try to be as close as you can. This is probably the most difficult and annoying part of creating this thumbnail, but trust me, once you do this, the next steps are going to be very simple. Once you have gone all around the gun with the pen tool, notice how there is a new layer called curve. This new layer represents the line that you have just drawn with the pen tool. What we're going to do now is we're going to drag the gun layer into the curves layer, creating a mask, and if you hide the background layer, you will notice that the gun is now separated from the background. If you have a friend in the screenshot, depending on what you want to get out of your thumbnail, you can copy the background layer one more time and do the same thing, but this time on your friend. But of course, I don't have anyone else in my screenshot, so I won't be doing that. Now that that is out of the way, the next steps are very easy. Personally, I like to work on the background layer and the gun layer separately, so hide the gun layer and let's just focus on the background layer for now. You don't have to do this, you can do what I'm about to say on the whole document, but this is just a personal preference of mine. The first thing we're going to do to the background layer is adding some brightness and contrast. To do this, click on the little circle over here that says adjustments and click on brightness and contrast. Unfortunately, I cannot tell you exactly how much brightness and contrast you should add because it all depends on the screenshot you took. Different amounts will work on different screenshots, so just use your best judgment. Next, we're going to do the same thing we did earlier with the gun and curves layer. We're going to drag the brightness and contrast adjustment layer into the background layer. This is so it will only affect the background layer and not the whole document. Next, we're going to be adding some vibrance, so once again, click on the circle and then click on vibrance. Once again, I sadly cannot tell you exactly how much you should add, but be very careful not to add too much saturation because it can ruin the whole thumbnail if it's overtuned. And once again, drag it into the background layer so it will only affect that one layer. As you can see, the thumbnail is already looking pretty good and coming together quite nicely. Next, we're going to be adding a radial blur to the background layer. Click on the background layer to select it, click on this little hourglass right here that says live filters, and then click on radial blur. Add as much as you want, but try not to go overboard with this. For these kinds of thumbnails, usually 1 to 1.5 degrees or less is enough. Once you are done, tick the preserve alpha checkbox. Once we have done that, the background is ready and we can start working on the gun layer. So unhide it, and what we are going to do is basically we're going to do the same thing minus the radial blur. So add a brightness and contrast adjustment layer, add a vibrance adjustment layer like we did with the background layer, and remember to drag the adjustments into the gun layer so it will only affect the gun and not the background. For this particular thumbnail, I also wanted to add a vibrance adjustment layer on top of all the other layers to make it really pop. You don't have to do this, I just thought that it would make it look cooler, but it can end up making yours look worse. So do not feel obligated to have this in yours, just try it out and see how it looks, and if it doesn't look that great, just take it out. And last but not least, we're going to be sharpening the thumbnail just a little bit, and to do this we're going to make sure that there are no layers selected. Click on the hourglass again, and then click on high pass filter. Set it around 9-ish, and then click on the blend mode and set it to overlay. And there you have it, a clean and professional looking gaming thumbnail for your YouTube videos. If you want, you can also add some text like I did for the thumbnail of this video, or you can just leave it as it is. It's completely up to you, but either way, I hope you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video. We are on our way to 1,000 subscribers and every little bit helps. Thank you so much for watching, have a nice day, and I will see you in the next one.